Welcome to Fresh Talk News Channel. Today, we delve into a shocking revelation that has sent ripples through the political and national security landscape. The White House erupted in fury on Wednesday after The Atlantic magazine published, in its entirety, messages exchanged between national security officials in a Signal group chat. This unprecedented leak has raised serious concerns about communication security at the highest levels of government. President Donald Trump quickly dismissed the report, calling it all a witch hunt and labeling The Atlantic a failed magazine. His remarks came after journalist Jeffrey Goldberg, who was inadvertently included in the encrypted group chat among senior cabinet leaders, released messages revealing critical national security discussions. In a surprising turn of events, Goldberg disclosed that U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had shared sensitive military details in the chat. These included precise timetables and unit information regarding an upcoming U.S. strike in Yemen. Goldberg asserted that he made the decision to publish the messages after the Trump administration accused him of fabricating claims that classified information had been exposed. Despite the publication of these damning messages, administration officials continued to deny that any classified intelligence had been shared. However, behind closed doors, some senior officials began to acknowledge that the episode was a grave misstep, including President Trump himself. When pressed by reporters on who was responsible for allowing a journalist to access the Signal communications, Trump pointed the finger at his national security advisor, saying, "Mike Waltz, I guess he claimed responsibility. I was told it was Mike." He further stated that Waltz had taken responsibility for the mishap. Despite the controversy, Trump remained steadfast in his support of his defense secretary, who had unknowingly divulged sensitive operational details in the chat. "Hegseth is doing a great job," Trump declared. "He had nothing to do with this." The president also dismissed concerns over the breach, stating that the Signal leak doesn't bother me, though he added that the app itself isn't very good. He also did not hold back in his criticism of Jeffrey Goldberg, referring to him as a total sleazebag. Goldberg, in an interview with the BBC, pushed back against the administration's narrative. He accused officials of attempting to shift the blame onto a journalist instead of addressing what he described as a massive national security breach that required immediate corrective action. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who had also been part of the chat, acknowledged the gravity of the situation during a diplomatic visit to Jamaica. "Obviously, someone made a mistake, a big mistake," and added a journalist, he conceded. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, another participant in the group, informed the House Intelligence Committee that the National Security Council would conduct an in-depth review to determine how and why a journalist had been given access to the chat. While she admitted that the mistake should not have happened, she continued to insist that no classified information had been shared. Despite growing bipartisan concerns, Trump downplayed the severity of the breach, describing it as not a big deal. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who had originally set up the group, took full responsibility for the incident, stating on Tuesday night, "It was my oversight." The political fallout, however, did not end there. Democrats swiftly called for Pete Hegseth to resign, arguing that his inadvertent disclosure of sensitive military information could have endangered American service members if it had fallen into the wrong hands. Goldberg's bombshell report stunned Washington earlier in the week when he first revealed that he had been unexpectedly added to the Signal chat. In his initial report, he mentioned withholding certain details because they contained classified intelligence regarding U.S. operations against Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen. However, after facing accusations from the White House, he decided to publish additional messages discussing the Yemen attack plans, claiming that the public had a right to know the extent of security lapses within the administration. "There is a clear public interest in disclosing the sort of information that Trump advisors included in non-secure communication channels," Goldberg wrote in his latest piece. "Especially because senior administration figures are attempting to downplay the significance of the messages that were shared." At a tense White House press briefing, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt fiercely defended the administration, attacking Goldberg personally. She dismissed him as an anti-Trump hater, and accused the media of pushing what she called a Signal hoax. She shifted the focus to the military operation itself, stating, "The real story here is the overwhelming success of decisive military action against Houthi terrorists." The Atlantic's report included a full release of the signal messages, which contained extensive details about the U.S. military strike package for the Yemen operation. In military terms, a package refers to the set of aircraft or weapon systems involved in an operation. Additional messages also discussed damage assessments following the strike, CIA operations in Yemen, and anticipated Israeli military actions against the Houthis. Hegseth, facing mounting criticism, remained defiant. "They know it's not war plans," he told reporters in Hawaii. "There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information." He justified his actions by stating that his role required him to provide updates in real time, adding, "That's what I did." Despite his defense, several military experts and intelligence veterans expressed grave concerns about the leaked communications. Mick Mulroy, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East and a retired CIA paramilitary officer, emphasized the sensitivity of the information. "War plans typically outline the strategy for an entire conflict," he explained. Attack plans, however, break those strategies down to specific unit-level details. He went on to stress that both are classified and highly sensitive. One could argue that attack plans are even more sensitive, as they provide precise details on timing, location, and execution. As Washington reels from the fallout of this shocking security breach, the political ramifications remain unclear. Will heads roll over this misstep, or will the administration manage to deflect blame and move forward? One thing is certain, this story is far from over. Thanks for watching Fresh Talk News channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more news and updates.